Hi! So this is going to be a review of the Lux series by Jennifer Armentrout, and this is going to be a non-spoiler review. It's just going to be a general review, some good things I liked about it, some weaknesses perhaps, so you can decide if maybe you want to check it out or not. I own in physical copy the second, third, and fourth books. I own the first one on my Nook. So the first one is Obsidian, the second one is Onyx, the third one is Opal, and the fourth one is Origin. And the fifth book, Opposition, comes out this August, and I'm so excited, and I believe it's the last one as well, so that'll be nice. So the basic general premise of these books is that you have Katie with her weird shoulder thingy. Don't like the shoulder thingy. You have Katie, and she moves to West Virginia, I believe. Could be Virginia, but I think it's West Virginia, to get a fresh start with her mom after her father has passed away. And her next door neighbor happens to be this guy, this guy, Damon, and his sister, Dee. And Damon's kind of a jerk. He's, in the book, described multiple times as a douche, I'm gonna be honest. You know. But Dee seems to be really nice and keeps seeking out Katie and wants to be friends with her. But Damon is not such a fan of Katie. No. He keeps trying to warn Katie off and keeps doing all these horrible things to her. He's really mean. And she's all like, ew, I don't like you, but you're hot. But Dee really wants to be her friend. And then after a while, this is not a spoiler, Katie finds out that Dee and Damon are aliens. They are aliens called Luxan, and they're basically beings of light. And there's a bunch of other aliens around the area, and then there's these other evil aliens. And so the stories basically just follow the alien hijinks and the relationships. These books are definitely super heavy on the romance between Damon and Katie. So if you don't want a lot of romance, you probably don't want to read these books. So in general, I really like the characters. I think they are strong and well developed. I definitely think the female characters are well developed. The books are told in first person, but I still get a clear picture of Dee and Katie's other friends that she makes, even the girls who necessarily aren't her friends. But Katie in particular I find very interesting. She runs a book blog and she's really into books and she talks about them all the time, and she's educated and she's not afraid to stand up to Damon, which is nice, but she's also a good friend to Dee, and she's not weak, which is nice. I think in books like this, it's very easy to fall into this trap of just being like, oh, okay, I'll do whatever you want, hot alien dude. But no, Katie stands her own, sometimes stupidly, but she is willing to be an independent woman and to make decisions. And as the books continue on, and her character really progresses in a really interesting way, and I'm very curious to see where she goes in the last book. Also, I think it's really fun as each book comes, you get to meet new characters. There's a character you meet in Origin, the fourth book, who I just love reading about, and I'm again excited for Opposition so I can see more of this character. Hopefully they don't bite it. Now, Jennifer Armentrout, not afraid to kill a person. That's one thing you need to be aware of. Like, sometimes, and it'll come out of nowhere. You won't see it coming. You will not see it coming, and you'll be like, oh, what? No. But that's really nice and refreshing, and because sometimes you read books and you just figure, oh, well, everyone's gonna make it, and it's nice to not have that. Another thing is just the general plot. Again, I think it's developed really well. When I finished Obsidian, I didn't really know where the overarching story was going and what was going to be talked about in the other books, and I didn't read like the synopsis or anything until after I had like read the book before it. But even then, they're not like, they don't give that much away or anything, and yeah, they've developed really beautifully. I kind of have gotten the impression a lot of people don't like Origin. But I loved it. It was my favorite book, and I liked especially where the plot was going in there and where it seems to be going in the final book. I also think that Jennifer L. Armentrout does a really good job of world building. So obviously the general frame of the story is our world, so not much is needed there. But the information given to us about aliens is really informative and explains things, and she does a good job about peppering things in, and you learn more as you go. So it's like you're learning with Katie, so which makes sense. She's the main narrator of the story, so as she learns more, like I said, you're gonna learn more. So basically, some general strengths in my opinion of the series are the romance. I think it's spectacularly played out. Jennifer L. Armentrout really knows what to do with these characters to make me believe their romance and to care about it. I think the friendships and just the relationships that aren't necessarily romantic are really interesting, and there's so many, and it's just all this like crazy. Like if I drew a diagram, it would just be like a spider web of crazy. And then the pacing in general, I definitely think the books are a little fast-paced, especially in parts, but Jennifer L. Armentrout does a good job of weaving in slower, breathable moments, so you're not just like, oh my gosh, so much is going on, which is nice. If you know what I mean, like, you know how there's some books where you just, there's so much and you're not really able to comprehend what's going on, and you really do just need a breather moment, and she's good at putting those in at the right spot. Really, there's not that many weaknesses in my opinion. I think the first book in particular definitely has a Twilight feel to it, but if you can get over that and just continue on, I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, if you like Twilight, then it probably wouldn't bother you, but if you don't like Twilight, like myself, it can be a little frustrating, but she does a good job at playing with the things that are like direct Twilight parallels in my opinion. And then, like I said earlier, if you're really opposed to heavy romance, then I wouldn't suggest these books. The romance is just such a major plot point, especially as the books continue on. The only other thing I can think is that some of the books can be a little angsty. So if you're afraid of a little angst, or angst can get a little annoying, then you might want to stay away. Maybe try one and see. I wouldn't say they're that much angsty than like Jace in the Mortal Instruments. So that's kind of like my barometer. Maybe a little more, but right around there. Obsidian, 4 stars. I gave Opal and Onyx 4.5 stars. And then I gave Origin 5 stars. It was my first 5-star book of the year, which, if you do some basic math, means as of right now the book has a 4. If you do math, then you know that the series as of right now for me has a 4.5-star rating. So clearly I'm loving it. If you have read these books, please let me know what you think down in the comments. No spoilers, please, of course, for anyone that hasn't read them. And if you have any other books that you want to suggest that are kind of similar, let me know. Or if you've read anything else by Jennifer L. Armentrout, I'm kind of interested to spend more time with her because I really like her writing style, and maybe I'll do a video about her or something once I've read a little bit more and I feel like I can really comment on what her writing style in general is. So thanks for watching. Bye!